Have you ever been in the presence of someone who, on the surface, appears warm and friendly, yet deep inside you sense that something doesn't quite match? Their words are polite, even charming, but your intuition whispers that there is a darker current beneath that carefully maintained smile. It's the kind of feeling you can't fully explain, but you know it's real. An instinctive awareness that not everything they show you is genuine. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds to ever explore human psychology, called this hidden realm the shadow. The shadow is not the image we present to the world, but the part of us we deny, repress, and keep in the dark. And yet, even when buried, it always finds a way to leak out, often through envy, resentment, or quiet hostility toward others. The truth is, when someone harbors such emotions toward you, they may think they're concealing them. They may dress them up with laughter, with politeness, with gestures of, have you ever been in the presence of someone who, on the surface, appears warm and friendly, yet deep inside you sense that something doesn't quite match? Their words are polite, even charming, but your intuition whispers that there is a darker current beneath that carefully maintained smile. It's the kind of feeling you can't fully explain, but you know it's real. An instinctive awareness that not everything they show you is genuine. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds to ever explore human psychology, called this hidden realm the shadow. The shadow is not the image we present to the world, but the part of us we deny, repress, and keep in the dark. And yet, even when buried, it always finds a way to leak out, often through envy, resentment, or quiet hostility toward others. The truth is, when someone harbors such emotions toward you, they may think they're concealing them. They may dress them up with laughter, with politeness, with gestures of friendliness. But no matter how carefully they try to cover it, there are always traces, subtle, unmistakable signs that reveal what's really going on beneath the mask. And today, I want to walk you through 8 powerful signs that someone close to you might secretly resent you, even while pretending to care. Some of these are easy to overlook, but once you see them, you can't unsee them. Especially the 8th sign. It is the most hidden, the most insidious of all. And it may forever change the way you view certain people in your life. So stay with me until the end, and let's uncover the truth together. Friendliness. But no matter how carefully they try to cover it, there are always traces, subtle, unmistakable signs that reveal what's really going on beneath the mask. And now, let's begin. 1. Sarcasm and contempt disguised as irony. Hidden hostility doesn't always manifest itself openly. Some people prefer to express it with sarcastic jokes, small jabs, or biting irony. They make fun of things they know are sensitive to you, but when you try to point it out, they respond with phrases like, "But I was only joking," or "Don't be so touchy," or "You just don't know how to play the game." This behavior is particularly subtle because it leaves you feeling uncomfortable while the other person maintains the facade of someone joking without malice. In reality, repeated irony about certain topics is a clear sign of hidden contempt. If their jokes always leave you with a sense of humiliation or belittling, and above all, if they are repeated over time on the same topics, it may not just be humor, but a sign of repressed hostility. Jung argued that our personal shadow is projected onto others in a subtle, sometimes even involuntary way. When someone repeatedly uses irony to attack certain aspects of your personality, They are in fact revealing a part of themselves that they cannot accept. And you may notice the irony is rarely random. It targets the same wounds, the same areas of your identity, over and over. 2. Subtle sabotage. If someone close to you feels threatened by your success or growth, they may try to sabotage you, but in ways so subtle you barely notice. Sabotage isn't always obvious or direct. Sometimes it manifests as misleading advice, small accidental mistakes, or conveniently forgetting to pass along key information. A friend or family member who forgets to tell you important details, leaves out crucial information, or complicates things for you at the last moment may not be as absent-minded as they seem. If these incidents are repeated, especially when they happen right at critical moments, it's time to ask yourself whether they're really coincidences. Jung explained that when a person lacks the courage to face their own failures, they may unconsciously project frustration onto others, blocking or hindering them to avoid feeling inferior. And the most painful part is that it often comes from those who are supposed to support you. That's why this sign is so dangerous. It eats away at trust, little by little. 3. Silent competition. Some people cannot accept that you succeed at something without instantly feeling the need to outdo you. Every victory you achieve is followed by their attempt to shift the spotlight back onto themselves, or to downplay your accomplishment. If you share good news, instead of sincerely congratulating you, they respond with something about themselves. If you tell them about your success, they're quick to say they've achieved something similar or even better. This unspoken competition often arises from deep insecurities. Those who practice it cannot tolerate seeing you shine because it threatens their fragile self-esteem. If every conversation with this person becomes a contest, who's better, who's stronger, who's more successful, it is very likely that there is unexpressed resentment behind it. Jung argued that shadow projection makes people see in others the qualities they themselves cannot develop. For this reason, those who feel inferior will often belittle you or constantly compete so they don't have to face their own feelings of inadequacy. 4. Apparent kindness and superficial support. Those who secretly dislike you may try to mask it with a superficial kindness. On the surface, they smile, but when you truly need support, they minimize your problems or simply disappear. When you succeed, their enthusiasm feels forced or worse, completely absent. This behavior is especially visible at key moments. A real friend shows up when life tests you, or when you celebrate a victory. But someone who harbors hidden resentment will always find excuses, will suddenly be too busy, or will react with indifference. Over time, you begin to notice the pattern. They are present when things are neutral, but absent when it really matters. Jung spoke of ego dissociation as a mechanism that makes some people emotionally disconnected. This often translates into coldness, detachment, and an inability to genuinely support those around them. It's not just about their words, it's about the energy they bring or fail to bring when you most need it. 5. Control disguised as caring. Some people try to dominate your life under the excuse of caring for you. They constantly tell you what to do, criticize your choices, and question your decisions. On the surface, it may look like concern, but the truth is, their intent isn't to support you, it's to make you feel dependent, insecure, and incapable of handling life without them. A key way to identify this is how you feel afterwards. If, after every piece of advice, you feel smaller, weaker, or more doubtful, then it may not be guidance. It may be manipulation. Jung argued that the need to control others comes from an inner fear of chaos. People who cannot manage their own instability try to govern the lives of others as a way of avoiding their own emotional uncertainty. True care empowers. False care restricts. Always pay attention to the difference. 6. Criticism and gossip. When someone has negative feelings toward you, they rarely express them directly. Instead, they talk about you behind your back, criticizing, spreading rumors, or twisting facts. This is one of the most dangerous behaviors because it doesn't attack you head on. It works silently, slowly corroding your reputation. If you start noticing that people around you treat you differently without explanation, if colleagues avoid you or friends become distant, it's possible someone has been poisoning their perception of you. False or exaggerated rumors are powerful weapons in the hands of those who hold grudges. They isolate you, plant doubts about your character, and weaken your public image without you even realizing it. Jung explained that the need to discredit others often comes from an unconscious attempt to project insecurities. People who feel inferior or frustrated try to restore their balance by dragging others down. So remember, those who constantly speak badly of you are probably revealing more about themselves than about you. 7. Resentment toward your success. People who truly care about you will celebrate your wins. They will clap when you reach milestones, encourage you in difficulties, and share joy in your growth. But those who secretly dislike you struggle to hide their irritation. Their reactions are cold, dismissive, or fake. If you share an accomplishment and all they give you is a flat, "Oh, that's nice," or they immediately change the subject, it's a strong signal of envy. Sometimes they'll minimize your achievements with phrases like, "Well, it's not that big of a deal," or "I did something similar a while ago," or even, "Honestly, you could have done better." These aren't just opinions. They're signs of impatience, bitterness, or unspoken rivalry. Jung explained that the inability to rejoice for others reveals an unresolved inner conflict. Your success becomes a painful mirror, reminding them of what they haven't achieved. 8. Hidden details and non-verbal signs. Hidden hostility often leaks out through the smallest, most involuntary details. A forced smile, a sudden silence, a stiff hand gesture when you talk about your victory, a fleeting look that betrays irritation. Many people are skilled at masking their words, but the body always tells the truth. Tone of voice, posture, micro-expressions, these tiny signals betray what the conscious mind is trying to hide. Jung argued that the unconscious never lies. The body reacts honestly to emotions, even when the mouth says otherwise. That's why it's important to trust your intuition. If you sense discomfort, coldness, or subtle tension, pay attention. Your instincts may have picked up on signals that your logical mind cannot yet explain. Words can deceive, but body language rarely does. Thank you for following us on this journey. Pay close attention to these signs because they will help you protect your energy, your peace of mind, and your relationships. See you in the next video.